Okay, welcome to another episode of Unwanted Football Opinions, and today joining with me is Jittu, and we'll be speaking about another German giant, that is Borussia Dortmund. So first we'll be discussing about the past performances of Borussia Dortmund. What do you think about it, Jittu, and what do you want to say about it?
Okay, moving on to past performances, it has been good. I'm not saying it is perfect because they have lost a match horribly to Augsburg and they should have won that game. I don't know what went, like everyone was switched off. It was not because they had lost major players or something, but they came back strongly in the next game against Schalke. And to be honest, also they played better football than Bayern in the at least in the second half of the game in the Super Cup. And nobody expected Kimmich to score that goal, so they ended up on the losing side. And also, there have been a few mistakes from the manager's side, like he had subbed out Haaland in that game too early. I think that was not a good decision because he just lost his chance of winning a silverware. And that ended up costing him also in the end because Bayern lifted the trophy. And other than that, I expect them to finish around third this season. And they can finish second and they can even go all the way also. But they have to show a little more consistency, especially in the second half of the season. So, yeah.
Yeah, and what do you think about, what do you expect from the team from this year? What do you think, how are they going to do in this Champions League?
So, as far as the Champions League is concerned, you can see them clearly, they're favorites in the group they are in right now. I think all of the teams, the first will be confirmed, it will be Dortmund, unless something weird, shitty happens. So, they'll go to round of 16, that'll be sure, but after that, it depends on their mentality. And based on what happened last year, we know what we've seen. They basically had a much similar team, except they didn't have Jude Bellingham or Emre. Jude Bellingham wasn't there. So we saw what happened in the second against PSG. They completely lost it. And I hope that doesn't happen again and again because they have hugely talented side with them and they can beat any team if in their day. Yeah.
Yes. So, what do you think about the transfers this year for them? The new signings. So, the new signings have been Jude Bellingham and Thomas Munia. So, what do you think about the new signings?
Yeah, Thomas Meunier is actually a very needed signing because they didn't have that sort of depth in defensive positions and right back also. Even after his signing also, they don't have many players in that position, right back. And Munier, I see he's more of a defensive right back than an attacking right back as far as I'm concerned. But he is adapting. He is adapting at least right now. He has to adapt because Dortmund's they play more like wing backs rather than proper right backs. I'll move on to that system when we talk about the tactics. And Jude Bellingham is a very good talent. I didn't know much about him earlier. And when I saw him in the Bundesliga, and he's been playing against top sides also. Of course, Schalke hasn't been good, but against him also, he's regularly starting for the team as well. And it's a good for his development as well, since he's such a young player.
So, speaking about new signings and exits, and I would also like to say, I think so one of the best signings Borussia Dortmund could do is Jude Bellingham because he's a very good player, a typical box-to-box midfielder in the midfield. And Thomas Munia, as you said, Dortmund usually plays the 3 centre-back system with 2 wing-backs flying forward, Rafael Guerreiro used to play. And Lucas Piszczek is now getting a little old. So you don't expect the same from him, but I feel Thomas Meunier is a good signing, but you could see that his attacking instinct is very poor in the game against Bayern in DFB Super Cup as he missed a sitter. It was an absolute sitter and Dortmund could have just killed the game there and they could have taken the game with them. So I feel Thomas Meunier, I can't say, but Even if instead of playing Emre Can, if they can play Thomas Meunier as a centre back, that would be a better option than playing Emre Can midfielder as a centre back. And talking about
Yeah, that is the
exits,
problem there. That is the problem. There are like so many midfield options that they're forced to play Chan as a defender.
Yeah.
That was absolutely brilliant midfielder, and they play as a defender.
yeah. And talking about exits, I think so. No big exit this year. That is on the that is the opposite of Borussia Dortmund. Jadon Sancho saga.
But then we have these big issues like two big players as far as Dortmund are concerned. Not recently as of now. Andre Schürrle and Mario Götze leave the club. Schürrle, of course, retired at the age of 29, which is actually very young. And we forgot to mention Achraf Hakimi,
Oh,
even though he was a
Hakimi. Yeah.
even though he was a loanee. And I feel like now, because they were playing an attacking mode of football, Hakimi would have been a bit more better than Meunier. But we'll see if he can adapt. Yeah.
Considering that and the Jadon Sancho saga of 120 million and Manchester United, I think Borussia Dortmund did only one great thing this transfer season is to hold on to Jadon Sancho, and I think they will hold on to him at least for a year. And so, what do you want to talk about the tactics for Borussia Dortmund?
So the tactics, I'd say they've been using a 3-4-3 formation. Like a lot of variants are there of 3-4-3. So the thing I've noticed more is that consistently it's like 3-4-2-1. So with what you call three attacking players and a midfield duo of two players, two wing backs and three centre backs. So that's what Lucien Favre has been using more consistently, though he has experimented in between few times. So in attack, it will turn into basically a 3-2-5. So you're starting at the 3-4-2-1. In attack, it will basically turn into a 3-2-5. The wing backs will push forward, actually very high, they will push forward. So instead of a front three, it will become a front five. The two midfielders will be the only people who will be constant usually will be the two midfielders and the centre backs. So based on what I've seen, usually the holding midfield, like two midfielders and like centre midfielders and the three centre backs, they don't change usually that much in the game. Like they will be constant throughout the game. And another thing which we want to notice is that they build up play from centre backs. So the centre backs start the attack. They start the attack. So yeah, that is an important thing. And another important thing we have to notice is the role of the centre forward. So the centre forward, he plays a huge role as far as I've seen. So he drops back usually. He drops back and along with him he attracts many defenders with him, which creates space for the other two forwards, the right and left wingers, if you can say that. It will give space for them to attack through the wing. Another thing he does is that he drops to the midfield often to support the midfielders like during pressure situations and hold the ball for them. He also does that. That is a brilliant stuff. And one more thing I have to talk about is the forward line of Dortmund. It keeps on changing. So there is no single center forward in the game. They keep on interchanging in between the game. And I think the forward line is mostly Sancho, Haaland, and the third person would be Reina or Brandt.
Yeah.
So they keep on interchanging. And one more brilliant thing that they do is that the wing backs and the forwards have extreme coordination with them. They keep on interchanging their positions. They create confusion among the defenders. That is a brilliant thing about this. So these five, I told earlier, like the attacking five, like when they're attacking, they 5 people forward. They keep on interchanging, completely interchanging, which will leave the defense of the opposite team in doubt, and that is how they score. And one important thing that I should mention is brilliant tactic used by Lucien Favre is that whenever the opposition centre backs are high, like they are maintaining a high line, what they tend to do is they directly pass the ball, like long ball. Then that's where Mats Hummels comes in. He's a brilliant long passer from centre back. He passes the ball to Haaland or anyone who will be there, who will be making a run. Usually it will be Haaland. And we could see that clearly in the game against Bayern Munich. One goal that was scored by Haaland and one chance that he got, I think Manuel Neuer said that it was a long ball. So Bayern were playing a high line and he made run in between. And it was proving effective, and that is what they tend to do if the opposition maintains a high line. And apart from that, what do you say? The midfielders will be usually common, like they'll be staying in that position, and they'll be providing vertical passes to the center forwards as well as the wing backs during attack. So giving passes to the wing backs will stretch the defense of the opposing team, and it will, like, basically what you're saying is that they're confusing the defense of the other team. Like lots of stuff goes on in between the front five and the midfielders. So that is pretty much how you sum up Dortmund's tactics from what I've seen.
Yeah, that was a really good observation, Jitu. But like from my point of view, also what I think is that in Borussia Dortmund, in one thing is that they still not, they have lots of squad depth, as you said, but they don't have defensive squad depth, and that is a very big issue. And considering midfield, they have options of Hazard, Reina, Dahoud, Witsel, Bellingham, and they have been regularly signing more and more midfielders. So the point that I have to make is that Dortmund have to focus on their defense. Hummels has been good, but there have been times when Manuel Akanji has made many mistakes. So although I like the goalkeeper, that is Roman Burki. Roman Burki has been kind of really good for the team, I feel. And but Borussia Dortmund need to just buckle up in the gameplay, I feel. And the attacking line, they are very confused between Sancho, Hazard, Reina, and Haaland. Lots of options, but yeah, it will be useful during Champions League. But exactly as I wanted, as you said, is like they need to learn how to not to stick to one plan. Like Lucien Favre, I think so lacks the creativity to it. And considering Champions League and all the teams, like a special mention to teams like Atlanta and all, like they have been playing phenomenal football, and they are not going to stop anytime soon. They're going to play the same game every time. And teams like Dortmund, who used to be that exciting before, now they've just become kind of very predictable and easy. And it's very easy to decimate them. Even Leon played better than them. So that's one thing that I didn't like about Borussia Dortmund. And so, okay, so Jitu, considering this all things...
Like, can I tell one more point?
Please tell.
Like, it's a short one. So, this formation from what I know is like this is what he plans to do. But the problem that arises bigly is Manuel Akanji right now. So, he has been very bad. So, he's playing a back three. Like, he can't play a back four also. Another problem that arises is that Thomas Meunier... like they have Thomas Meunier in the one side, he can play as a proper like defensive right back. But on the other side, they have wing backs. Like they're not good defensively. So he can't play a back four also.
Yes.
And back three, the issue is with Akanji. The other two players are brilliant, especially Chan and Hummels are brilliant. But Akanji, like he's sort of like what you say, Harry Maguire for Manchester United. No, not that extreme, but then he makes a lot of silly mistakes.
So I would like to like just wrap things up from here is that what do you expect this year? Like where do they finish in Champions League? I only see them getting knocked out in the round of 16 or quarterfinals again. What do you think about it, Jitu?
Obviously, I have only saying like they'll get into round of 16, and what makes them go through again would be like depends on their
Yeah.
mentality, and if the coach is willing to change the formation, like he has to do it from now itself, not reaching round of 16 and experimenting all sort of bullshit. So that is why I only expect. I think if they're good enough, they can reach the
Yeah.
quarters. So not much more than like I actually predict Leipzig to do better this season. I don't know because they have a good manager than
Same here,
Dortmund.
same here. I also expect
And,
Leipzig to do better. And the thing is, as I said, if you play a game where you start your attack from the back and you play a high pressing back line, then you should have that quality in your defenders in the first place. So right now there are lots of questions to address, and one more problem that has been arised due to very frequent team rotation is that few players require 1 or 2 games to settle in to understand the gameplay, and Lucien Favre is not giving them time to settle in itself, because you can see Gio Reyna, Thorgan Hazard,
Yeah.
they just come in for one game, going out another game. Then Julian Brandt, and half of these players play for the national teams. So considering that, Borussia Dortmund has lots of problems to address than last year, I feel, and I don't see a great form going up. The only positive in this side is probably Erling Haaland getting some personal achievement for himself, but not for the team.
Yeah.
So anything to add, Jitu?
Yeah. We haven't predicted
yes,
our
yes.
11.
So my 11 prediction is first that Emre Can, Mats Hummels, Emmanuel Akanji at the back, with the left wing back being Rafael Guerrero or Thorgan Hazard, right back being Thomas Meunier or Lucas Piszczek. My midfielders will be Axel Witsel, Jude Bellingham. They have an option of Dahoud also, and in as an attacking midfielder, I would suggest Julian Brandt over Gio Reyna, but because I like Julian Brandt more. But Gio Reyna has a good, a passing skill, and his better attacking instinct. And as strikers, any day Erling Haaland and Jadon Sancho for me, just playing as a centre forward, just behind Haaland, as a feeder of the ball. But Marco Reus is good, but Marco Reus has fitness issues still and is a winger primarily. And Reiner is a good option from Real Madrid, but I feel Haaland will take the first team spot.
Yeah.
So what are your starting 11 predictions, Jitu?
So I am going with a 3-4-2-1 and with Berkey in goal. So the thing is, it is very hard for me to choose between Berkey and Marvin Hitz. So Berkey is a brilliant keeper. He has good reflexes, but he has made some mistakes, like basic mistakes he makes, but he makes brilliant saves. So on the other hand, Hitz, he doesn't make that spectacular save, but he avoids those basic mistakes. But then, given the experience of both players, I'm going for Roman Berkey. In defense, it will be the same as your Emre Can, Mats Hummels, and by God, I have to choose Manuel Akanji because there is no one else. So, and going to midfield, it will be Bellingham and Witsel with Delaney and Dahoud as sub. So wing backs, I'll go left. I will be Rafael Guerrero, and right will be Thomas Meunier. And I'm going with the front three. Right wing, it will be either between Sancho and Royce. And the other wing, it will be Gio Reyna and Julian Brandt. And it was very hard, both those positions, because both those players have been equally good. And as of current form, I'd pick Gio Reyna over Julian Brandt. And striker would obviously be Erling Haaland. That's all. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Do subscribe and like our channel. And all our podcasts will be on Spotify and Google Podcasts and Apple Podcasts. And this is Jitu signing off. Thank you for listening and watching. Bye-bye.